Well, hello. It's been a while since I posted a video due to being just so busy with music, but I thought given the pandemic, it's a good opportunity to catch up on some of the questions that you all have asked me to make a video on different topics. Um, I also do offer private lessons via Skype, Zoom, and Duo if anyone's interested. Now, the first question I'm going to talk about today is how to learn composition. And I'm assuming the question was barring having a composition instructor, which obviously is ideal in a university or conservatory. But to self teach composition, how can that be done? What are some things that can uh, help? On the another topic, a related topic, I've been asked frequently if studying under somebody inhibits personal expression and style, and it really doesn't. For three main reasons. First of all, um, there are it gives fresh ears to hear your music and to offer um, whether this climax is long enough, if it needs to be lengthened, because in our heads we're so absorbed in our uh, composition that we might not have an objective view of it. So having uh, unbiased, fresh ears to hear our music is really valuable. And secondly, um, a good instructor can point out technical issues with the composition. For instance, if you're writing for orchestra, maybe you're not giving enough time for the brass instruments to breathe. It's really important because they can tire out quickly. Maybe the you're writing in some extreme registers in a dynamic range that's not possible for that register. Things like that. You can actually end up making a bad name for yourself if you ignore those things and write music that doesn't take into consideration the different strengths and weaknesses of instruments and players. And then third, a good instructor will mo- not so much tell you how to write a piece as steer you in the right direction as far as scores to study so that you can observe what effective writing involves. So I have a list here of pieces to study the score of while listening to, and you can learn just a ton of techniques by doing that. So score reading is really the single biggest thing that you can do to improve in your compositional techniques. So first, I have a textbook that I recommend. This is used in universities. Uh, Kennan and Grantham's technique of orchestration, and Adler has a really good textbook as well, and both are up to date to modern instruments. As far as scores go, let's see. Okay, so to start with, I really love Stravinsky's Rite of Spring because he takes the extreme registers of different instruments and effectively uses them. So you can see kind of how breaking the rules can be done effectively. And also, here's Ravel's orchestrated version of Mussorgsky's Pictures at an Exhibition. This is really good, a really good piece to study because you can actually, like here, if you can see it, you can see how the piano version is on the bottom and then the orchestral version is on top, and you can see how one medium can be translated into another. So now, as far as more modern extended techniques, Takamitsu's November Steps, really great piece, and you can learn a lot of those extended techniques. Prokofiev's Fifth Symphony, there again, just a phenomenal, huge work that deserves to be studied. Also, Schoenberg's Five Pieces for Orchestra, and I couldn't find that score, but Bartok's Music for Strings, Percussion, and Celesta. It's again, it's just a phenomenal piece of music. The structure is amazing. The metric changes, the way that the fugue-like introduction, it's really a colossal piece of work. Benjamin Britten's Sea Interludes, another great piece to study. So all of those are really good pieces to study the scores of while listening and take detailed notes too. I had my notepad here. I had some other thoughts to share. So, on that note, so it's really important to develop a good ear, and one thing that will inhibit that is overusing technology, investing in these really expensive simulation apps and programs that where you can hear really realistic strings and such, but then it actually handicaps you because then you're not using your inner ear to actually hear what it sounds like. And a lot of times the sounds from those programs aren't actually going to sound exactly like how they will when they're actually performed. So it's better to hear real examples of things and to take detailed notes so that you can start to hear what this combination of instruments sounds like in that register, what the different registers that complement each other of the different instruments. Okay, so kind of along the same lines of the value of uh, pointing out technical issues with the piece. If you're writing for tubas and there's too long of a passage in forte to kind of overlap the parts so that each player runs into the next and gets a break. But I have written down here, write for the player in mind. So not just the instrument, but actually the individual player. Because what you'll find is with some extensions, does this flautist go below the middle C? Can you go down to the B flat? Stuff like that. So taking into consideration the ensemble you're writing for or the player you're writing for is really important, and you can make really good connections and friendships that way as well. Um, Go to as many concerts as possible, live concerts. Obviously, right now it's that's changed a bit, but you can still see performances on YouTube and get a sense of the different balances of the instrument sections and such. And then last, if you play an instrument like the piano or another non-transposing instrument, it's good to practice transposing into other keys that other instruments play. So it also gets you used to developing an intuition as to what type of instrument is best suited for this piece. So if you're writing in the key of A, you're not going to use B flat clarinets, you're going to use A clarinets. Um, Things like that. So getting used to transposing into other instruments is really valuable also. So I hope those tips have helped. I'm gonna try to post as much as possible, covering this list of questions from you. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and take care.